Hey folks, welcome to our next exit. We're fixing to go over our November 2018 expense report for Pearl and myself, and to give you a little background on us and on this spreadsheet. We are retired. We don't owe any money, so we don't have any monthly credit card bills or mortgage or RV payments or anything. We own everything. All we own is the RV and the car, but we own those outright, so you won't see anything in here about loans or loan payments. We're a member of Thousand Trails, which is a membership campground that has like a little over 80 campgrounds around the country. And you buy that membership, you can buy it for like $10,000 new, or you can buy it on the used market for, well, definitely less than half of the new price. I'll put a link up here to kind of explain Thousand Trails. But we spent $4,000 for our Thousand Trails membership. That's not included in here anywhere. We do pay, I think it's $600 a year for membership dues. Every year we have to pay that for Thousand Trails. And we have to pay $190. We don't have to. We chose to join the Trails Collection, which gives us another 100 plus parks. They're called Encore parks around the country that we can stay at for free. And we're a member of RPI, and that's $150 a year. And there's a few hundred more parks in that you can stay at for like $10 to a little more than that. So those three memberships, we add all that amount up and divide that by 12 and put that amount in each month. So that's how, and then when we stay outside of Thousand Trails, that goes in here, or any other expense. Some campgrounds at Thousand Trails we have to pay for upgrade on our electricity. That would go in here. So this column right here will be our monthly expenses for November. This column here is our 12-month total. So for November through last December, the total, and then this is simply that number divided by 12. We keep track of these two daily expenses here. It's our daily fuel cost per night and our daily campsite cost, average campsite cost, average fuel cost. And that's running both of those. Well, you can see right here, it's a low of $1.50 for August for our campsites, $1.50 a night, and a high of about, looks like $24 this month here. So in November we drove 662 miles. We went from Harbor View, that's a campground in southern part of Virginia, to Chesapeake Bay. I think we moved on the 2nd. And Chesapeake Bay RV Resorts in southern Virginia also. Then down to Twin Lakes RV Camping Resort. It's in North Carolina. And then to Fort Fisher. We met up with Pat and Chris, some friends of ours that they're in the military, and they stay at a lot of military campgrounds. And at this campground they could let guests rent a site in the military campground. So we stayed there a couple days with them, and then now we're at the Oaks at Point South, and that's in South Carolina. And this weekend we're headed to Florida. We're looking forward to that. So drove 662 miles. We moved 4 times, so 28 days inside of Thousand Trails campgrounds, 2 days outside of the Thousand Trails campgrounds. And so we spent for diesel fuel $386. So this month we averaged $12.87 for diesel fuel, and for the last 12 months we've averaged $10.39 a day for diesel fuel over the last year. Campsites we spent $118. Well, let me back up here. Diesel fuel, it was $358 for diesel, $28 for tolls. And the reason we include tolls in our diesel, because to avoid the tolls we have to drive further away, so we burn more diesel, drive more miles. So by paying the tolls we get to drive a little faster, a little shorter route, and it just seems to make sense to include it in there. For our camp grounds. Like I mentioned, $612, $199 for trails collection. The RPI, we figured that in all at once, so I misspoke a while ago. RPI, we paid it back last summer when we renewed and included that all in 1 month. So that's $68 a month we allocate for those 2 annual membership dues, and then the 2 nights we stayed at Fort Fisher were $25 a night. So that's our camping fees. Motorhome repairs. Now, this here I want to talk a little bit about. I think that this is, for us, it's starting to be an issue. This month we have $362. Before we went full time, we replaced both of our rear slide toppers. That's that piece of vinyl that goes over the slide when the slide is out to keep rain and debris and leaves and stick from landing on top of the slide and then coming in and tearing up your seals. So you got a topper over there to keep that clean. Those are in bad shape, so I replaced both of them. Well, now the front ones are getting bad, so I ordered those and I paid for them. They're shipping them to our next campground, and when we get there, they should be there waiting for us, and then we'll install them. We'll do a little quickie interview on that. $400, the circuit board on our HydroHot, the HydroHot is we have a diesel burner that heats up water and heats up some antifreeze, and we can use that to heat the house like central heating. It heats our water, and it'll heat up the engine, so it'll start in a cold morning. So that does all of our heating. We also have heating. We don't use it for heating because we've got heat pumps in the air conditioners, and we have electric ceramic heaters. And so that's free to run the electric heat pump or the electric heater, so we don't use those to heat the coach, but we do use it to heat the water. And it was been having some issues for the last year or so, and I think I finally figured it out down to that circuit board. And then every year to 2 years you need to replace the diesel burner in the HydroHot and the fuel filter. So I ordered those, we'll replace those. And then if you don't know this website, IRV2, IRV2, it's just a website that is for RVers, and they have groups for full-timers, groups for motorhomes, for each manufacturer of a motorhome, almost all the major manufacturers. And so if you have a problem or a question about your motorhome or motorhome, you whatever, the lights won't come on when you flip the switch, there's somebody on there that's probably had that problem already, and they've already explained and probably put pictures in where the fuse is for that or how you might troubleshoot it, problems with your slides or anything. It's just a great resource, and it's free, but if you want to, you can be a supporting member and pay $15 a month. So that's what that is. You ought to check it out if you haven't. IRV2. Auto and gas repairs. That's $70 for gasoline for the car, and we had it washed just one time this month. $214. So our RV insurance is $1,459 a year. Our auto insurance, $836 a year. Then we have an umbrella policy, $1 million umbrella policy for $277. We add all those up and divide it by 12, and we put $214 in for each month. Groceries, $906. That's everything we spend in a grocery store. If we buy, paper towels, toilet paper, soap, laundry soap, dog food, if we buy it in a grocery store, it goes in here. So that seems awful high, but that is everything. That's our number one expense. Dining out, we average about $226. This month, $174. Last month we were over, so we kind of made up for that, looks like. Internet and cell phone. We made a big change here 2 days ago. We have 2 iPhones, and they both have hotspots where we can tether off of them and get 15 gigabytes of high-speed internet off of each phone. And then we have 2 jetpacks that have 15 gigabytes each. That's in a month. So that's 60 gigabytes a month. And we've been using about 80, and that's trying to conserve 80 gigabytes a month. Well, Verizon just came out with a brand new deal about 2 weeks ago. Our friends Pat and Chris told us about it, and Technomadia, they remember that Technomadia's, they have a newsletter about phones and internet and all kind of electronic stuff, and that's one of the things they keep up on. So we went down to the Verizon store and took one of our jetpacks off of our normal Verizon plan and put it on this. It's a totally unlimited data plan, and so it's $65 a month. But they say it's not tethered at all. It's totally unlimited. So now we shouldn't have any trouble. We're going to start streaming TV and doing all that stuff. And if it works for a month or a couple of months, then we'll get rid of our direct TV and be ahead there. But if you're thinking about doing this RV lifestyle, you need to check into that. You can do it on the internet, or even the people, the Technomadia in their newsletter, they said that that the Verizon folks may not even know about it yet. They're just now rolling it out. I went to the Verizon store to get it done, and the guy told me no such thing. They don't have it. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure you do, and showed him part of the newsletter, and he looked a little bit more, and he said that he didn't know that applied to the jetpacks, and he was quite impressed. That's just a good deal. So you may want to check on it if you're looking for more high-speed internet. DirecTV, $63. That just is what it is. Maybe we can cancel that in a few months. Medical, we have, we're on Medicare. So Pearl and I both have that Part B, and that's $126. I think that may be going up next year. Part A is free, and we don't do Part C because we travel, so that's pretty much is useless to us. Part D is your drugs. We do that Walmart Part D, so we get drugs all around the country. That's $17 a piece. And then we have a Part G Medicare Medigap plan. And for Pearl, that's $109, and for me, it's $116. We just got letters. Both of those are going up. And then we had a issue with Pearl had a medical problem 6 months ago with her shoulder. It's almost healed up, or 80%. But with us moving around, somehow the bill they were sending to us, they didn't get it to us. And we just now found out about it. So it was part of our deductible for our Medicare. So we got that took care of. Pet care, $55. That's just taking Tinker in and having her groomed up. She looks pretty cute. Recreation, hobbies, miscellaneous. About $50 or $60 of tourist stuff, and about $40 of photo equipment. I went and bought some green material. If you saw in our last video about doing some green screen, you can put in different backgrounds and all that kind of. So just stuff to play around with the camera. You probably start seeing a little bit of that silliness in our videos if it works. Nothing for computers. Clothing, $71. That's just Pearl running amok. And mail, $5. We have our mail sent to our daughter, and she forwards it on to us, and that was $5. So our totals are going up. We're up to $45,000 a year. This month, $3,800. I mean, it's still a pretty good number. I mean, compared to the numbers you hear from a lot of the people living this RV lifestyle that's doing it conservative, I feel guilty about that we're spending so much money. But it's averages out to $46,000. I mean, that's not a bad number, really. But that is what it is. It's more than we thought it was going to be, and we'd like to get it lower, but it may go higher. And that's I wanted to talk earlier. If I sort these expenses, let me kind of cover that up. So if I sort our expenses from the most to the least, our groceries, we spent basically $10,000 for groceries last year, and or everything in a grocery store. I mean, that's a lot of money, but that counts cleaning, paper towels, just everything. But maintenance, $7,300, $600 a month, what we're averaging. We started out thinking we'd put $500 a month for maintenance for our car and our RV for $6,000 a year, but our car is $3,000. Now that counts the gas also, but our car and this $7,300 does not count the diesel fuel. Here's diesel fuel down here, $4,000. That's just repairs and maintenance. And of this $3,000 here on the car, I'm guessing at least $2,000 of that is repairs and maintenance. So that's not like $9,000 a year in repair and maintenance. I don't think most people are going to budget themselves out for that. So it depends on what kind of rig you got. But we have 11 coming up on 12-year-old 42-foot Class A motorhome, and we've had circuit boards and just all of them are little, trivial things maybe to be expected about a 10 or 12-year-old coach, but it's something to think about. Maintenance can add up, especially if you get a big Class A motorhome. If you're going with a trailer or a fifth wheel and you're pulling it with your pickup, I'm thinking that's going to be a whole lot smaller. I don't think we'd trade. Pearl and I, we pretty much are enjoying this Class A 42-foot, 4 slides. We have 425 square foot. We just like we're living in a small apartment, and we get to just kind of change where we live. But we live just like we was living still in Las Vegas. We do the same things. And then with the occasional, we're in a great country, we get to go out and see the ocean and go see different things. So we love it. But depending on where you're at financially, you might want to think about I've always preached by a high-end coach, but go back in years till you get one that matches your budget. Be sure that you think about your ongoing expenses for maintenance. So we also do a thing, just in case we could we also do a thing about what could we live on if we had to really cut back. And so on each line item, we cut our diesel fuel in half, and we say we just stay at the 1,000 trails. We don't stay outside of 1,000 trails at all. Cut out dining out, and you get the picture. We just kind of went through every one of these items. We figured we could take that much out for a total of $12,000 we could save if we really needed to save. So we could do close to the same lifestyle on $3,300, just to give you a rough idea what we think we could cut out. All of us are going to cut out different things, and some people are going to add different things. So yours may be more, you may be less, but that's just to give you a rough idea. So that's our budget. I hope that helps you. And we're not trying to say this is what it costs. This is just what we spent. We could certainly spend more. We could certainly spend less. Just give you a place to start. So that's the expenses. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you hadn't already subscribed to the channel. And put your comments down if you got any questions or thoughts or about expenses or our expenses. I send, I think it's the June or July that I'm sending out. But if you want a copy of this, our expense spreadsheet, I'll send you the one. I kind of cleaned up all the comments. I left our numbers in the comments where you can see all of that, but then I put a blank copy with it and took out the comments and left the formula so it's ready. You can just kind of start putting in your numbers. You can change the line, instead of groceries you can put different things. So put in your line items and then put in your amounts, and it should help you do the math. You need to know a little bit about spreadsheets to make it work, but we've sent out hundreds of these, and I think a lot of people are using them. So if you want, send me an email. Don't leave a comment here or nothing. Send me an email at boborpearl@gmail.com and I'll send you a copy. And that's about it. Keep the wheels rolling. Stay safe. We'll see you at the next exit. Bye-bye.